Damien Hirst's works range from paintings to sculptures and even installations of found objects, living and dead organism. His dead animals preserved in formaldehyde encased in glass vitrines call attention to the paranoid denial of death that permeates the contemporary culture. His dead butterflies arranged in kaleidoscopic compositions reveal the beauty in death. Pharmaceutical objects such as pills and medicine cabinets point to the constant desire to avoid death, to live for eternity and to view science as the new religion. When he does use animals that are alive, he sees them as metaphors for the inconsequential nature of the living or the impermanence of life. His unorthodox choice of materials draws associations with the dilemmas of human existence, the constant desire to prolong life and avoid inevitable death. Using these unsettling subject matter utilizes the shock factor, sparks discomfort and raises intrigue amongst unsuspecting viewers, toying with the spectacle that museum goers expect to see in contemporary galleries. They're attractive yet repulsive, much like death itself. Hirst creates deliberately provocative art in order to address the unfathomable concepts of death. Memento mori is a common trope in Western art, usually symbolized by the representation of a skull. Hirst, however, wants to confront viewers with the true reality of death by presenting dead or decaying animals in a gallery space. Viewers expecting an aesthetically pleasing experience are greeted by repulsive rotting carcasses, kicking their survival instincts, making the engagement with death more immediate and visceral. Cigarettes are also used to suggest luxury and the act of hastening death. Ashtrays are essentially graveyards. Hirst also wanted to portray the contradiction and irony of how life is sustained by death. In order to eat something, we have to kill it or be killed. In some works, death is also portrayed to be visually beautiful, in an attempt to give new perspectives to an existential concept that society refuses to be confronted by. It could also raise ethical issues, if the sacrifice of one living being is permissible for the lives of others. Hirst wanted to challenge belief systems such as religion and science, using Christian themes questions if science has replaced religion as man pursues immortality, and if such faith can be placed in art. Art contains many eras of representation of Christ's salvation through death. Hirst used that as a starting point, to question man's new unquestionable faith in doctors than pastors. Perhaps there is no stronger belief than knowing of one's own fleeting existence. Hirst also wanted to question the concept of originality in art and the need for craftsmanship when making art. He incorporates found objects, yet the process is executed by a group of workers who carry out the artist's ideas. They make, assemble and install his works. This is also seen in his spot paintings, where he decides the colors and titles of the spots, yet the painting job is done by his assistants. This raises the concern if the idea of the work is more important than its craftsmanship. The multiple copies of his works also raise similar questions, of the need for artwork to be unique or if the singular idea triumphs the multiple copies of the same artwork. Hirst juxtaposes unconventional materials for their symbolic value and their ability to evoke various psychological and perceptual dichotomies, calming yet unnerving, ordinary yet beautiful, attractive yet repulsive. The real objects close the gap between the art world of representations and the real world, thereby eliciting real and sublime responses from the viewers. The unorthodox materials also bring a shock factor to the viewers. They're unexpected, absurd and different from traditional forms of art, thus creating immediate engagement. It piques curiosity and plays with the contemporary zeitgeist need for the spectacle, to be entertained in order to be engaged. The use of these materials raises further questions and tests boundaries on what art can be. This is especially so when such materials are juxtaposed against the pristine gallery space, commonly associated with beautiful and elevated works made with masterful technical prowess. Viewers are invited to view these materials through the artistic, retinal and conceptual lenses, and engage with the ideas conveyed, rather than just passively viewing them. Damien Hirst is influenced by many artists. Francis Bacon's framing device found in his paintings influenced Hirst's use of vitrines and tanks. His provocative and violent subject matter that depicts the savagery of reality mirrors Hirst's confrontational approach in showcasing the cold, brutal and inescapable death. Michael Craif Martin was a mentor of Damien Hirst, and his conceptual sculptures of everyday objects could have influenced the importance of ideas over form and the extraordinary qualities of the ordinary. Donald Judd and other minimalist artists influenced Hirst's use of minimalist forms, which contrasts vividly to his organic decaying matter. Jeff Koons influenced his use of plexiglass cases to protect and elevate the everyday consumer object to the status of high art. Hirst's experience in a mortuary could have a large impact on his mature themes on the cycle of life and death, and his interest in dead organisms as potential art materials. His upbringing as a Catholic influenced his aesthetic sensibilities, such as the bloody bodies akin to martyrs and the death of Christ, the use of triptychs, and mother and child subject matter. The Young British Artists is a group of artists who are known for their entrepreneurial spirit, use of shock tactics and wild, rebellious nature. Their first show Freeze in 1988, curated by Hearst, showcased highly shocking and unconventional forms of art from 16 Goldsmiths students, including Hearst himself. The show created a buzz in the art scene, attracting a rich collector Charles Saatchi, who continued to be their patron and exhibited later works in his Saatchi Gallery. Their choice of subject matter and lack of perceived artistic skills make their work postmodern. Their exhibitions have even led to protests outside art galleries. The members of this group remained notorious and provocative to this day, some of whom have even won the Turner Prize, a highly acclaimed award for British artists. Today, the Young British Artists' success has made contemporary art more accessible and recognized by establishment circles. These artists, including Hearst, continue to challenge the notion of what is art through their continued controversial work.